right now. I'm gonna get a hat. I'm gonna be outside.
Okay, I'm gonna make a voiceover real quick.
Yeah, just, let me get a hat. Maybe that tighter one. Maybe outside a little bit. Yo, what's going on, people? How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing? Watching Game of Thrones. I love that show. That show is amazing. Are you watching the real one or are you watching one of these spin-off ones? I haven't gotten into the spin-off ones. The spin-off ones are just not that great. I'm just like, I don't know. I have no idea, but the spin-off ones, I'm just not. Where's everybody from? I watch both. Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. So did you guys vote on my poll, the one I did yesterday about interest rates? It's interesting. It's very, very interesting to see what all these people came up with. I think it is so interesting to see how these people interact and the different views and the different opinions. I love it. I love it. And I love the settings in Europe countries. Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones with Europe settings is really, really pretty. Really pretty. I like how they filmed it. But now the new shows, I'm like, nah. So are you guys job searching? Because man, it is tough. And if you guys, so I came to this, I was supposed to do a video today because I don't have one for tomorrow, so I was going to go on a walk later on, but then I was like, I'll do it live. And one of the things that I read was that do you guys know about, what's it called? Salesforce. Salesforce is like a huge CRM type deal. They do like a whole bunch of things, right? And so I read today that they're owned by BlackRock and all these other Vanguard and State Street and all that. And then with all these people, with all these companies investing to it, they own, so BlackRock owns huge amount of shares in Salesforce, right? And so they own a whole bunch of other companies, and some of them are real estate companies. So they own REITs, and they own all these companies that actually Salesforce rents to. And so what do you need to do? You need to actually have Salesforce go back into the office because they have to go back and actually work there because I read it during the report, they're spending like $2 billion in rent, and if that's going to go, the whole market's going to collapse. Israel will affect prices of oil. If the Israel, so this is how I look at it. If the war will affect prices on oil, I think it does. I think Russia has more of an impact on oil than the Israel war does. I just don't think that that Israel has that much to do with oil. So yeah, but I'm not an expert on like foreign politics. I couldn't really tell you. That's what she said. What? Fernando in the house. Yeah, no, it's really interesting to see how this whole thing kind of, when you have BlackRock owning, Salesforce renting buildings from that actually BlackRock is leasing because they own another company that does it. So it's like an endless cycle of like money. And if Salesforce is going to be like, we're done, then all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh shit, $2 billion lost, but we own so much of the share so we can control them and do whatever we want. So it is absolutely nuts when you think about the cycle of the commercial real estate collapse when companies, investment companies, buy shares, tell them to, we really need you to come back to the office because we cannot have you give up the offices because we own companies that own the offices and we cannot default on those loans. So it's like an endless cycle. So it's like interesting, It's like super, super interesting. I wish everybody could work from home. But the next step is outsourcing, right? So you can then outsource from the United States to India, Pakistan, China, South America, and Americans don't have a job anymore. So super, super crazy. Is China the best? Yeah, China has taken over Switzerland. Switzerland has been so stupid. So you guys know Swissport, right? It's like one of the biggest gate like delivery for luggages was like one of the biggest one, and also Gate Gourmet was also one of the hugest food provider for airlines, and China bought them all. And Swiss government was like, well, we don't really care, who controls the company. They're still Swiss companies. And then, haha, China was like, no, you're not. You're a Chinese company now. Everyone has a job in DC, I guess. I think so. Twitter, somebody on Twitter told me the closer you're to the printing press, the more money you'll make. Should I have quit my last job last year? No, I think you're good. I think you're really good. Don't quit anything. Talk about aliens. Like what? In Area 51? I don't know. I you know, I don't know about alien. Change the subject. To what subject? UFO. Uh, you know, there's some crazy videos. There's some crazy videos about it, and you saw Donald Trump talking about it. So I have no idea. He doesn't believe it, but there's some compelling evidence that there is. I really appreciate your video. I'm also in Vegas. Super cool. Super cool. Love Vegas. Where are you from? From Vegas. Yeah. So UFOs. Oh, Trump, everybody. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I just had this Harris ad. It's so funny with the coconuts. Oh my gosh. I'm in Alima, Las Vegas. My parents country El Salvador. They got lots of investment from China. Yeah. It's the first country to make Bitcoin official currency. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's so funny when people. So, some, like, a huge part of me does not want China to bring stuff to the United States because I'm like, oh my gosh, my fellow Americans are gonna, be hurting. But then in another part of me just says, just bring these BYD cars into the United States, so BYD can kick ass, and all these Stellantis and all these other stupid Toyota dealers and all these crazy Chevrolet dealerships and charging over markup and screwing all these people are going to be done when they're going to bring a $10,000 car to the United States and take over. And I'm like, but part of me is really hurting. It's like, nah, I can't do it. But another part of me is like, let's compete, see what you got. And it's not like they're gonna get and it's not like we don't subsidize our car market, right? Bro, would you ever leave the United States? Maybe Asia countries cheaper. So I was in Thailand and I freaking loved it. I love Asia. The car countries, yeah, I know the car market is so disgusting. Like the housing, yep. No, I'm actually I am in Centennial Hills. What country would you vote in a World War III? I would go to Paraguay. Is it? You know, the thing is, the craziest thing is when World War III is gonna break out. It's gonna be so bad, and since I've been in the military, you do not want to be alive when that happens because it's gonna be depression. It's gonna be bad. You do not want to be alive because I lived in a bunker for 3 months and it was horrible. I would not do it. Not recommend it. Never, never, never again. And so I'm like, nope, wouldn't fight. My opinions aren't worth fighting for or dying for. And did that, and I was like, nope, because they love you a long time. Yeah. Do you buy gold or silver? Of course, I try to buy everything. I try to diversify. Diversify. The you want everything to be diversified. You do not want to own just one thing. You never just want to be in just real estate. You never want to be in just stocks. You want to be diversified so you're secured. And the best thing that I've always tell people is you are a subject matter expert of something. It's a Pokemon card, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, PlayStation games, stocks industry, all these kind of other wares. Yeah, I saw these drone warfares. Yeah. Set diversification for idiots. It's on YouTube. Yeah, Mark said diversification is for Mark Cuban's also, he just got lucky with his first thing and then it kind of rolled it. Yeah, I believe in cryptocurrency. I think that's a very, I think you know, I gotta say, for diversification, you don't want to be in a spot where you are. So, what I mean by diversifying is you want to be a little bit in the stock market, a little bit in the real estate market, because you do not have, of course, Mark Cuban, when you have super, super sharp intel where you have billionaire friends that when they move like a market maker, so when Mark Cuban is going to say, I'm going to invest into an AI company, he's going to shake that market. You and I cannot shake any market. We're not going to even shake the grocery store when we go there. So that's, diversification is for poor people. That's what I do. Have you ever taken? Yeah, I have to buy houses. Yep, I have taken money out of my 401k. Yep. Screw the shark. Yeah, Shark Tank. You hear about it, and it's like they don't know any better than you and I do. You think education in Switzerland is better than the USA? Switzerland education is very different than American education, and I think um, uh, from first to ninth grade, Switzerland is has probably better education. But then when it comes to college, you can go to a way better college. You remind me of Humpty Dumpty. Thanks. If I remind you of anything and you can comment, I appreciate that. So yeah, but back to diversification. Warren Buffett said diversification is for losers too. You know why Warren Buffett says that? Because he makes hundreds of millions of dollars of investments. He made more money off of Coke dividends, Coca-Cola, than the guy managed, than the CEO. So yeah, if you can do that, then do it. But then why doesn't Warren Buffett just own one company? Why does he own companies across the whole sector, right? Yeah. Have you been to Latin America or Canada? No, I have not. I've only been to the Canadian airport. Never. No. Cryptos are nothing. It's air. Gold is something. Neither gold or crypto. Making income. Dividend stocks. Also something. It's like a real or something. Yeah. Crypto is nothing, but the scarcity mindset. So if there's not enough things out there and enough people want it, it creates an artificial like want. And then when there's only a limited supply, it's like supply and demand. That's why houses are, why do you pay $2 million for a house in the Bay Area? It's not worth that. But since there's only a finite amount of houses, that's why they're worth so much. Because if you can tear it down and rebuild it with the land, it'd be a few hundred thousand. Made his money in insurance. Warren Buffett made money in a lot of different ways. He has Berkshire Hathaway has like RV. I think they own like RV. They own real estate. They like Berkshire Hathaway company. Owns some real estate. The Canadian economy is sucking. Everything's expensive and high. Yeah, I collect. Yeah, beaver sticks. Own Geico. Yeah, he owns Geico. Yeah, insurance. I'm telling you, it's like, yeah. See, he owns like all kinds of different sectors. So if he was like, you don't want to do yeah, yeah, see, he owns Apple stocks. So then why, he's like diversified. So what is he even talking about? There's a thing that's like if you're not diversified, you only be buying Apple. And then he buy Apple. But why would you want to do that? What is the best investment? 20K gold, silver, bond, digital, cryptocurrency stocks? Depends. What do you want to do with it? Depends. If you have $20,000, why not put a little bit into everything? If you can do your research, then um, do I think what you can get a way bigger return at is if you know something that that a value that you can buy for way below market. So if you're in the landscaping business and you can buy a land mower for $500 and sell it for 1,000, you can make way more money than just buying gold and silver. Is Europe's percent housing market as bad as the U.S., or do people over there seem to have more power over corporations? You know, in Switzerland, people rent. People rent. You can buy into your own REIT, and then you actually get almost like housing at a super low price. So they have a whole different system, and they can only then it's like the REIT kind of pays for itself. So it's a very interesting concept, and most people rent because it's apartment. And if you want to buy a flat, goes like for a million plus. You speak English and German, yeah, and I also speak French. Je parle français. Je habite à Lyon, à 10 semaines. Yeah, but I'm not so good at French anymore. I've lost a whole bunch of knowledge when I lived there. I used to be fluent, and I just haven't used it. And so, yeah, by Northrop Grumman, some people, they did huge layoffs. I don't know. One of these defense contractors did huge layoff. Did huge, big layoffs. Milton Friedman to choose. Yeah, it's did huge layoffs. When the market tanks hard, you're gonna be have to get stocks out of the system or with a freeze account. Hey, Sonny. Thanks for joining my live today. So I think so. When the market dips, it can never really dip below a certain amount because they're now. I think after 2008, they thanks appreciate that about the hat. So when the stocks dip, they freeze it. I think if it drops more than a few percent, the whole market in a day, they're just gonna halt trading. And then if the next day, it's also gonna drop some more, they're gonna halt trading again. So you can never ever go for too long. And during those times that they're gonna halt trading, the Fed's gonna buy. Everybody in the world's gonna start doing stuff. Yeah, it's a nightmare here in Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, 5% trading halt. Yeah, I thought it was like 4 or 5. Yeah, trading halt. Yep. So then, guess who's gonna be called? The Federal Reserve, and people are gonna be buying, and there's gonna be shady deals made with. You need to check out how much money these banks are sitting on. I think J.P. Morgan is sitting like on $1 billion in liquid cash to actually to buy smaller credit unions and stuff. So I read an article that was an opinion piece, so it wasn't factual. They said that they're going to, when these smaller banks like Silicon Valley Bank is going to go belly up, they're going to force them to go belly up so they can absorb them and take away competition. It's really crazy. Are German people really the hardest working people in Europe? I mean, most Americans think they're, it's not that they're the hardest working people. They just have German engineering. And what do I mean by that is that German engineering is very, very smart, and they can they can think things like they just come up with different ways of thinking and making stuff work. What do you think about gold and future in the US dollars as a reserve currency? That would be a good thing, but now you can't go back to reserve current, to the gold standard because so this is my understanding of it. There's so much US dollars in trading right now that we do not have enough gold. And other countries, you have to look at this. There's other countries in the world that do not want to take other people's currencies. So when you look at other people, like China and Pakistan want to do a trade, they first trade it into US dollars and then and then that's how they trade. So not they don't trade their currency because they manipulate their currency so much, and there needs to be a liquid. Do you think Trump or Kamala wins? I think Trump really messed up with his VP pick. I think that was really, really bad. And Kamala still has not picked, so you can't tell. It's too early. And Mercedes are money pits. BMWs and Mercedes are money. Yeah, they're over engineered. There's like designs where they have like 10 struts you know, and they're designed differently. But so also what I've heard from German engineers is that in Germany, temperatures do not get as hot and as dry as they do in the United States. So when they export them, a lot of European cars have plastic in them. In Germany, plastic isn't that because it doesn't get too hot. It isn't that bad for the plastic and all that kind of stuff to break. But in this heat, where we're at in most of the United States, it's just not good. Countless second walls from Minnesota. I have picking balls for Minnesota. We'll see what she's gonna do. I think they might need to get rid of Trump's VP pick and pick somebody that already has a following. It's made out of plastic, so it melts. Yeah, exactly. So it's made out of plastic, and when you go buy a BMW in Germany, it will last you forever because it's designed for that environment. No, I don't watch the Olympics. But if you buy a BMW in the United States and you drive it in Florida or Vegas or Southern California, then these cars are just not made to last because plastic does not really do well with the heat. The opening ceremony is weird. Yeah, I saw that online. Many BMWs are made in the United States. Yeah, but they're designed and manufactured in Germany. So when you look at, so it's really interesting to see how people, like where they're designed to do. If they were made in, were there, if they were designed in a place, for the United States, and I feel like nobody's designing cars anymore that are like meant for American markets. Do you like gambling at the casinos? No, I'm not a gambler. Nah, I'm not. I think they're rigged actually. I think the gambling machines, there's some kind of software. There's 100%. There's too many videos out there of them cheating, doing things, so I have no idea. And I'm not a big fan of gambling. I like making money, not losing it. And I'm not that good at actually making it. Only gamble which yeah. Yeah, I do that. Yeah. Every time I go driving around, I gamble with my life. Crazy drivers everywhere now. People that should not be on the road. But yeah, it's really interesting when you think about all these types of scenarios. Yeah, especially when it comes to cars. Cars are so expensive, to and it's almost like somebody else told me this. When you invest in a car, it sits for like 80% because you drive from point A to point B and then it just sits there and just waits till you like get out. And then when you drive it to work, so you drive it for an hour, it sits for 8 hours. Then you drive it back for an hour. So you drive it for like 10% of your day, and yeah, and that's it. And then it sits, and it's a huge investment. And when you think about how many hours you have to work for to afford that car, you have to work a year worth of your life to just sit in that car, and it's freaking insane when you think about it. You're smart enough to do real estate. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't tank. Bro, I like the in-ground pools. Thanks. Yeah, Uber's a smart thing. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, pools are nice. I love it. That's why I moved here. Do you believe in green energy? I did till a little while ago, and this is a really, really great reason why I don't believe in. I do believe in some of it. So California, you need to look at that. They've subsidized solar insanely, and when you go Google now, so what do you call it? You Google solar, they are throwing solar energy away between like 2 o'clock at peak hours, 2 to 5, because 2 to 5 is like the peak hour to produce solar, and everybody's at work and nobody's using it. 2 months ago, money pits. Yeah, money pits. So it is crazy. How do you recycle these car batteries? So these car batteries, at one point, we'll find a way, but car batteries. So I heard that they're trying to put them into, that they're gonna somehow at one point they're gonna extract them, take the lithium out, and then they're gonna reuse them. Everything can be recycled, it's just not cost effective yet. So okay, okay, Jose. Yeah, it deserves. I'm working in automotive industry as an engineer. Electric cars are 240% compared to. Yeah, and I have a Polestar and I have a gas guzzler, and they both have advantages and both have huge disadvantages. And especially when you need to store the energy, it needs like, I think the a gas car can only, like the whole battery pack is like the same as like a gallon of energy stored. It's like crazy for regular people. Batteries for the birds. Yeah. Do you like buffets at the casino? I haven't. I try not to, buddy. I try not to. My calories don't come off as quick as they go in. Electric cars do seem like a scam to track your. You know, electric cars have. When you run around town and you do, and you're going to charge them at home and you use them quite a lot, they're pretty sweet. But I think the technology still needs a lot to go. I think in the futures there's going to be roads where you can actually charge your electric car while driving, like induction, but it's not efficient. So there's all these disadvantages. I think hydrogen might be better or something. I love my Bolt. Maintenance free 3 years. Yeah, that the electric cars, if they run right, if they're built right, you do have that. The Economy 20 concerns me a lot. Yeah, Sonny, you, me, and a whole bunch of other people. That's why I'm always like telling people it's not time to make huge purchases and getting, into that and not getting jobs. It's like you know, you gotta keep your finances tight and, you know, just deal with it. And then, once the economy picks up and you see more job openings and everybody's doing better, then you kind of can loosen up. Walking is it good to keep your weight off? Swimming in the pool's better. Yep. I'm from New York. Have you been there? Yeah, I've been to New York. Gosh, I love New York. Last time I was in New York, I rented a Jaguar, an F Type, and I was driving in Manhattan, and Ali was there with me, and there was another F Type, and it was the V8, and we both had them, and it was just the most epic thing. It was like from red light to red light, and everybody was looking. They hated us, but it was, yeah, upstate New York is one of the most beautiful things. Yeah. And I just read yesterday that upstate New York is one of the cheapest housing actually in the United States, where you can get a house for $100,000. What makes you think jobs are coming back? Low rates just mean more stock buybacks. So, okay, so this is why I think lower rates are going to give more jobs. So we as Americans are innovators. We come up with innovation. When you look at Apple phones, they say designed in California. When you look at a whole bunch of other products, it says designed in the United States. And in order to design and innovate, you need low interest rates to get a bunch of innovation going because we're not going to manufacture it. We're just going to design it and come up with it. And that's what I think is going to happen. And if the United States cannot stay innovative enough, we're going to lose everything and we're going to be done as a nation because then other people are going to come eat our lunches. So considering electric car hype, mining sector would be a good investment. Yeah, but a lot of it is on federal land, and they do not want mining there. Smart budgeting is key this year, next year. Yep, 100%. I'm spending Javara. Talk to that. Talk to a financial advisor. I'm spending enough for a used car to get hair hair procedure in October. Fixing hair. No, don't. You don't need fixing. You need to talk to a financial advisor. You're making so much money with your books. You need to talk to a financial advisor. I'm glad to see you found a good woman. It's hard to find a keeper now. You met in California. Yeah, love California. Say hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
In the pool. Yeah, Javara, talk to a financial advisor. There's nothing innovate if we have reached the pinnacle of technology. You know, I think there's going to be another leap of technology coming up. How many new iPhones version do we need? Oh, Sonny says hello. So it's not about tech. I think, so this is my take. It always takes time. It takes about 10, 15 years for a major step forward. So when we were looking at the early like 1990s to 2015, all the cars had digital dash. You had flip phones and there was no innovation. Then touchscreen, Apple launched a touchscreen. It was out before, but they just revolutionized it. So it's going to need one company that's going to revolutionize it and something's going to come up great with new huge technology. Hairline to stay. Javar says, I must fix recording hairline to stay male model ready. Yeah. Yep. Do you think Chinese will become the number one economy soon? I don't think so. They just had this whole real estate collapse. I don't think they're gonna be the number one economy anytime soon. They have huge population decline. They yeah, no. No. I don't think that China's gonna go anywhere anytime soon. Um, Especially not when they're still stealing our stuff. If we be stealing stuff from them, going over there and taking stuff from them, then they'd be number one. If you're seeing Chinese company, if you see stuff in China that Americans are gonna start copying, then they're gonna be taken off. What's an ad? I can't see it. Practical is the only thing anyone. Intellectual property is anything. Do you, do you believe cosmetic surgeries are a bad investment? If I believe cosmetic surgeries are a bad investment, I have that is a question I've never asked before. Cosmetic surgery. Hey, if it helps you and if it makes your day, we need more happy people and you should go do it. But talk to Fidelity. Javara, you need to talk to Fidelity and get a financial advisor or talk to a licensed one. And then afterwards you could do anything you want. Then do anything you want. Depends. I had no surgery to breathe better. Yeah, but I don't think that is because cosmetic. I think that's yeah. I had deviated septum surgery, and that's a good investment. OnlyFans made 11 billion last year. Do you think it will only get bigger? You know, I. So the question's gonna be, are people going to stop buying OnlyFans subscription rather than going out? If people are gonna pull back on going out, more than they're gonna do if they want to see OnlyFans models more than going out, then no. But if they're gonna say, I'd rather go out, then we're gonna see a decline. Do you think social media influencers are losing popularity? I've heard their earnings less. Yeah, of course. Influencer is not a glorious job. I'll tell you that. It's influencer is it's a glorified like online marketer basically. And if you can't convert anything, there's no. So this is what I tell people. People say, "Oh, you're making a killing on YouTube." Then I say, "A killing is not what you think. It's just not. If you're an influencer and you can't convert your audience into something, into ads, into products, into something else, what I'm not trying to do, then being an influencer is just like having a trophy hanging up from karate. It doesn't mean anything unless you use it. I'm trying to be on the nine. I'm trying to be a nine on the look skill at all cost and do it, buddy. Influencers, yeah, influencers like a ball girl. Yeah, you like living in Las Vegas, aka East Los Angeles? I love it. I love it. JD Man said he hates all the single cat ladies and is going to hurt. Is 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 that going to hurt Trump? Of course it is. I think that JD Vance was a horrible pick. Horrible pick. I think he should have either picked Vivek or Kennedy to further his base and get some of their voters. Because I don't think JD Vance had any votes. Because I think all Trump voters are already JD Vance voters. Let me know if you think that is somewhat accurate. You found love, so don't need any more cosmetic work done. Do I need cosmetic work done?
No, I think you're so handsome.
Oh, she said I'm handsome, so there we go. He needs Vance to bring his side. JD Vance has the Midwest on lock. There must have been some equation. Vivek has the same base as Trump. If that is true, then if Vivek has the same base as Trump, then then Vivek would be out of the picture. JD Vance has the Midwest on lock. I've not looked into JD Vance. He needed Vance to bring his side of crazy. Yeah, I don't know how they came up with that. There a lot of Are there a lot of migration in Switzerland? Yeah, yeah. Switzerland is not the Switzerland I used to grow up in. It used to be a cool place to grow up in, and now it's just overgrown, overpopulated. Swiss culture's gone, and it's hard because it was a small country, and it was a proud country, and now um, it's just run over by other people. And Swiss, the Swiss mentality's gone. What made it, like, my grandpa, Mike, is like 98 years old, and he kind of, was part of it. Yeah, and then that's just how it goes. I wish I hit the jackpot like you over there. Found a good woman. Hey, Jawara, you can find whatever you're looking for. You just need to focus. As a cat lady, I was slightly offended by JD Man's statement. Yeah, that is true. You can't, when you go into politics, you cannot say stuff like that. You cannot say anything like that because you're going to offend people like Sonny that you'd actually probably need their vote to do it. So, do you own guns in Switzerland? Yes, I own the SIG 550 fully automatic rifle. And yeah, from the military, they give it to you. And when you finish the service, they'll just gift it to you. I think it's $100 now. But yeah, they'll just gift it to you. You can have it. They'll give it to you at the end of the day. They'll put in a lock, so if the fully automatic isn't on, but afterwards you can buy part to remove it. JD Man sounds like he watches Red Pill videos. I need to look up on. I need to really, really. We need family to make the comeback like in the 50s. Yeah, we need to make like, you know, I'm always like thinking like people need to be people need to be nice to each other. I feel like as the United States gets, more immigrants, gets bigger and bigger, we lose like touch. And I'm seeing this in the US now as it did in Switzerland like 5, 10 years ago. It just gets unpersonal. It's just as a nation we get more divided. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy, like it's as one thing I do believe is that even the presidents are scared if all Americans come together and unite. And I've seen that a few times. And when when Reddit posts went viral about some investment company, can't remember what it was, but it was about GameStop, and they just rallied into GameStop. Everybody bought GameStop, and these hedge funds were losing billions of dollars. And then all of a sudden they had to stop trading. They've asked, um, what was it, Robinhood, to stop trading because the owner of Robinhood shorted GameStop. So they went to Robinhood, said, "You need to halt trading. This is not normal. We're losing so much," and they had to do cover calls, and they've lost so much money. And so when we come together as Americans, we can change the world. We can do whatever we want. Individualism can sometimes be harmful to society. Yeah, everybody's for themselves now, But as one, if you can come together, if you can believe in the cause, it would just change the world. We'd be having flying cars. Yeah, And so when you're looking at buying stocks in the stock market, and there's a rally going up, and it's going up, then how sad is it that they're halting trading because they're losing too much money? That is horrible. That is really, really sad when you think about how much power they actually have. And I don't know if there was a lawsuit, but they should have paid big time. They should have been paid. They should have not been in business anymore. What do you think minimum wage should be? What I think minimum wage should be, I think it should go up every year. I think it should go up with inflation every year. If inflation goes up to 20%, the minimum wage should go up 20%. But what I think is even more important is that the CEO can never make more than 17 times the lowest person. So if you have somebody hired at your company that makes 100,000, the CEO can only make 15 times more than that. There should be family wage to afford a family. Yeah, yeah. Minimum wages for teenagers, not adults. There's times for adults. There's times for minimum wage jobs in your life, and they're not meant for permanent, like permanently. And I'm not saying this in like a rude way, that there's like, oh, you're doing a minimum wage jobs. It's you gain skills and then you kind of move on and then you're out of a job and you're like, hey, I need something real quick to make me a few bucks, and then you take a minimum wage job. But minimum wage jobs now, it's like it's not even worth doing it anymore. When you look at $15 an hour or $20 an hour, and it costs you $10 to just get to work, you work for an hour just to get to work. So it's not even worth it. The problem is not minimum wage. The problem is that everyone thinks they're entitled to a job, yeah, and not work. But yeah, if you can put a 15x cap on executives. And I also had this idea. The CEO, the janitor has the same amount of effect on the company as the CEO. Because if the CEO is going to invite people over to his office and the office smells like poop, then they're not going to do business with him. So my idea was you give everybody a base salary of 100 or whatever thousand, 80,000. Then you go up a level, you make 85, and you cap it at 120. And then what you do is you incentivize everybody with stock options, and the higher up you are, the more stock options you get. Where I live, the average house 600K, but I bought minimum for 200. Yeah, 10 years ago. It's always pays to be early. If you're in the market earlier, it always pays. You need to have a job for everyone, and for sure for $20. Yeah, people like mummies who want to be buried with all their money in the casket. Yeah, yeah. My grandpa's the same way. I think the issue is people tend to confuse job with careers. Yeah, you know, it's crazy. There's careers and then there's jobs. So what do you think about careers and jobs? The difference?
Careers are a string of jobs that are related, that are moving up. Jobs are just random paid
Yeah.
bills.
Yeah. So jobs. Did you hear that? So career a
String of jobs
is a string of jobs,
related where you're moving up the
and where you're moving up the ladder, and jobs is just random things. Housing should be a human right. The minimum is small apartments, just not see homeless people. Yeah, it's housing is such an interesting thing because when you go back to the 1960s, 1950s, the house was so cheap and it wasn't considered an investment back then, and now it's considered an investment. You should go look it up. Food prices are out of control. Yeah, they are. Careers are a myth. Why would you think careers are a myth? I heard Switzerland food prices are crazy expensive. Yes, depending on. So what we do in Switzerland is very very interesting. And somebody told me that actually did laws in Switzerland. So if you're a cherry farmer and you want to import cherries from the United States to Switzerland, when there's season in Switzerland for cherries, there's tariffs for 200 to 500% on these imported cherries to support local farmers. So you cannot just import cherries during season and think that, hey, I'm going to sell it to Swiss customers at a cheap price because you're going to pay 500% tariffs. And if you want to provide it after that, then you're good. And so that gives the local farmers enough incentives to when it's season and crops, they can sell it at a market price and actually make a living. And I think farmers are amazing. We were built, we weren't built to work anymore. Yeah. Hello, my friend. Starter homes are a big deal for most American families. Yeah. Yeah. Sonny, you're going to buy one. I think you are going to buy one. It's just a matter of time. Keep staying on track and you're gonna buy one. Yeah, the sunsets in Florida and the sunsets in Vegas are, I'll show it to you, are amazing. Sunsets are absolutely gorgeous. It's yeah, and then there's not a lot of mosquitoes, so I'm like stoked about it. And then I got my little dog. My little dog, huh? Yeah. Yeah. But starter homes are really key, and I think we should really intensivize people buy starter homes. I don't want kids though. You don't need kids. You can just do you and have a life partner and just buy your first starter home. You can buy it by yourself. You can do whatever, you know. You don't need to have kids or a family. You can buy it with your partner. You can do whatever. But it's nice too. The idea of buying a home should be that once you're retired and you want to start now when you're young, so when you're 60 the thing's paid off, so you can decrease your expenditure, right? So your cost goes down. Very nice betta fish hat, thanks. Got it in Mexico, I love it. um I'm gonna invest 1,000 a month with Fidelity starting January 25. Sweet. I love hearing that. I love hearing that. Yeah, so yeah, you gotta to put the right mindset. And so there's not and the thing is that, you know, like people say, oh, interest rates are really hurting me, and I'm gonna wait till it drops. They might not drop, or they might not drop a significant amount. So it's good to get into real estate when you're in your 30s. So if you have a 30-year mortgage, by 60 it's completely paid off, and you don't want to go down the road of refi, and then you're 60 and you still have 20 years left. So you want to refi like once or twice and then shorten the term and be done when you're 60 years old, so you at least have a free place to live besides property taxes. At least that's how I see it for 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 investing. But yours doing a great thing. I love hearing people investing their money into the right spot. Do you think it will take for 30 years at the same job? Do you think it will take hold on. Do you think I mean, no, I'm not saying that. No, no, no. You're not getting it. You do not need to have the same. You, hold on. Do you think you will make it for 30 years at this? No, no, no. You don't need to work at the same job. You can buy a house and then get another job and then. Okay, let me explain something to you. Okay, so this is how I did it. Okay, so first you buy your house. You buy your first one. You buy a fixer upper. You start working at it in your free time. Then you can switch jobs. You take a pay increase. You try to every 2 3 years you try to take a pay increase. Then you move. Once you have that first house, you're like, okay, great. Let me see. I make more now if I can get into another house, a nicer one, a little bit nicer fixer upper. So then what you do is with the first house, since it's a nicer house now, you try to rent it out, make rental money from it, try to cover that mortgage, and then you get into the second one. And then you start building wealth and doing things, right? Were were you required to serve in the Swiss Army? Yeah, I served for a year. It was horrible. Turned 30 next month. I need to learn about real estate then. You should learn about real estate. It's never too late to learn about it. How was the universal healthcare in Switzerland? It wasn't universal. It's super privatized. The government just tells you what you need and then you can shop around. And you can get specialized care that always stays, and then you get basic coverage that you can switch every year. Did not have universal healthcare. Had universal healthcare in France when I lived in France, and then I've got food poisoning. I had to pick me up in an ambulance, and I was sweating because I was going to pay the bill, and then there was no bill. So that was pretty sweet. Thought I'm going to get an ambulance ride. This was like an Egyptian guy with a beard, old guy, called the ambulance, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be a $10,000 type of deal with the ambulance going with the lights to going to the hospital, blue lights, ambulance, everything, and didn't cost me anything at the end of the day. House paid off, 60 sucks. Yeah, I prefer 50 for most people. The earlier you can do it, the better it is. No one is hiring, lol. You got to network. So depending on your area, willing to relocate. Are you one of these people that moved to Florida, had a remote job and then you moved to Florida, called you back to the office? Because I see so many people like that and then they got let go. You know, I've always thought that the remote thing is uh is coming to an end at one point, not because it's not a great idea, just because companies are they like to have control. Is homelessness rampant in Switzerland? No, not at all. Nope, 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 not at all. Homelessness isn't a real issue in Switzerland. Actually, I'm surprised if you find a lot of homeless people in Switzerland. And I was just there. There weren't many. It has a pretty good social system. So in Switzerland, it's really hard to do really well, but it's also really really hard to fail. May not be the job you want, but you should find a job. Being around people working opens more opportunities, guarantee more opportunities than just sitting at home. You know, so there's a lot of opportunities to find out if you need help. Ali and Sonny's actually in Ali's community, um, where she actually helps people find jobs, and yeah, people have seen tremendous success in the community. Remote jobs is a privilege to have right now. Yeah, yeah. So if I was in my early 20s, I'd actually get a remote job and travel the world. Actually, I would work for one of these airlines. They're always hiring these remote call center people, and see if I could go to Asia, travel. Ali's amazing. Yeah, yeah. If you're struggling to find a job, it's
Our
for,
prices are going up. Tell Sandy she's locked in at the low price,
yeah,
but everybody else is.
yeah. So Ali has a community, and so it's $20 a month. I'll tell you about it. So it's $20 a month. Sony's locked in at that price, so there's no way that we could increase her price. But if people come after August, what is it?
August 1st.
August 1st, it's going to go up to 90 because there's so many. One of these people in the community got 4 job offers at the same time, even one with the government. What's your take on old school offices, thousands of people in one building? Black, I just said, you weren't there, Javar, where I said that that I had this like little diagram drawn that BlackRock, State Street, they all own Salesforce, and they also own investment companies that own real estate. So they'll tell Salesforce over here, you need to call your people back to the office because you're paying them, this other investment, this real estate company $2 billion a year, and we own this company over here because they said that you as Salesforce are going to pay them $2 billion every year, and so we need you to go back to the office because we cannot have these people default. I need a job in Michigan. Application lab engineers. Can she help? Yeah, she can help. 100%. Jose,
Tell them how they can find the link.
um, join my live and text the link. Text the link in the chat. So yeah, she can definitely help you 100%. And I'm in the community also, so you can just DM me and I'll send you the. So she has networking templates. She has resume templates. She has office hours. She has all these things. And Sonny, or I hope you joined in our coaching call that's coming up. I'll be there, and yeah, so she helped somebody else. Where did Joe go? Where did Joe get an engineering role?
Boston
Boston.
Scientific.
Yeah, somebody that joined the community just got a job offer at Boston Scientific. Even got a 15% increase, paid for it.
I don't know
So,
how they're gonna copy that link that I just put in the comments.
so let me know if you can copy that link. So Allie's my better half. She's the job wizard. I'm just a social media marketer. So yeah, so she's the job wizard. She knows. And Sonny just gave a testimonial. She's like, Allie's amazing. Sonny, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just trying to impact, you guys this life to the better. Try to better everybody. Try to get everybody to be better, to do better, to just have a better life. If if I can influence 10 people and they influence 10 people because of me, then I am so stoked because that way, in a few generations, I change the world. So, not too bad. So, yeah, it's really, really interesting. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. So, really, really interesting, like dilemma when you think about all these people that have jobs and the applications. 2 years ago, it was such a different job market, and when you go back and watch some of her old videos that we did, they're completely different. So if you watch one of them now, it's like nah. But yeah, has a lot of courses, live classes too. Yeah.
Are you leading the live networking class this Thursday?
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna be leading networking, and so I'm gonna talk about networking and how you market yourself as a job candidate. So know something about that on LinkedIn. Yeah. Yep. So that's what I'm gonna be doing on Thursday. So it's really really interesting to just see how the whole cycle of of you getting a job, you bettering yourself, and how the whole orbit works. So yeah, yeah, yeah. When when will the Fed statement come out? I was just looking at it. I know. When will it come out? They're doing something. They're doing something. Something's going on. Something. Something. Whenever they're not out yet, something, and the news has been real quiet about it. I don't know. There's gonna be, there's probably gonna be something. I'm just, it's always like, oh, we created 300,000 jobs, and then and then we're like, oh, just kidding. There were $100,000 less. We had an accounting error, but then they want to track Venmo, and if you send over $600 in Venmo, then they're like, I'm gonna come after you for this money. Bring glasses. 10 minute ago. Now my foot hurts. What? That is crazy. Was lowering interest rates will drive real estate prices up. I don't think so. I don't think that there's going to be a huge jump in real estate prices. And I'm going to give you a few reasons why. So, one of these reasons why I don't think real estate prices are going to go up is because people that have been unemployed will not qualify. So, you can take these people out. If you're making less money now, there's a lot of people that actually are making less money now than they did last year. Um, and the stats from Fox Business was about 2%. What do you mean it's a lame excuse? You 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 do not have the money. Most people in the United States do not have the money to buy a house in cash. And hope they reduce the interest rates today. Yeah. Yeah, no, you cannot you cannot just say that you can get into real estate um you can't just get into real estate when your documents do not line up, because um, there's something called available capital for mortgages, and you need to check that out. And it's not that easy to get a loan, even though people think it is. It's not. It's pretty cringe. You need to show bank statements, credit pulls, all that kind of stuff, and your income need to match. And when you do not, and they'll at the day of closing ask you if you're still employed. Right? Didn't they ask us at the day of closing if we're still employed, or the loan doesn't go through? So if you were unemployed for 8 months,
Someone
interest.
bought a car during escrow and they were like, you have 3 months.
Yeah, and then I bought a car during escrow because I was like, yeah, you know what? And then my realtor almost lost it, and the lady at the finance office was like, this is insane, and I had to return it and buy it a day after closing. So I was like, oh my gosh, come on, who cares about that? But lenders do, because yeah, and then if you're gonna do FHA loans and all that kind of stuff, way harder to get. And then you gotta get a house that it's approved and a lot of stuff. So just because the news says that there's gonna be more people wanting houses doesn't mean that there's gonna be more people buying houses. Because it's quite hard to come with the down payment and then actually pull the trigger to actually do it. And when you see credit card um, defaults, car repos, all up, then how are you gonna justify buying a house if you got your car repoed or something? And if you have tens of thousands of dollars of negative equity in your car, I think the average car now is like underwater. I think about $8,000 or $6,000, because of the car market crash. So if you have a loan on that one, that's also gonna count against you. So it's not. I I'm just like wondering. Jose, good night. Loved seeing you. So let me know if you joined the community or not. Nobody joined? Yeah. Let me know if you joined or not. You should. It's gonna go up. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Really interesting concepts. What are you doing, doggy, huh? Look at her. This is my little baby. She is my little baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's trouble too. She is very much trouble. Yeah. She's small, but she's trouble. So nobody joined yet? That's alright. That's right. I think I'm going to add mute. Yeah, does anybody else have any question? Or I'm also gonna jump in the pool here.
Yeah, come in. Get more champagne.
So did you hear that? Get more champagne and jump in the pool. So I'll cap this live and I'll wish you guys good night wherever you guys from. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. See ya in the next one.